What is up, my friends? You are on the way with the first adventure of StrommTV, and we are just about to enter the arena and see what we can do for making you a video. So for our choices, we have Shaman, Warlock, and Druid. I'm thinking for our first run we should probably go with the safer of the three, which after TGT I do think Shaman is probably the way to go. Plus, as you can see, we have the Golden Shaman, so it seems like a good first start.
Fire, heed my call.
Storm, Earth, and Fire, my friends. Let's do this. Obvious first choice, Thunderbluff Valiant versus either the Crazed Alchemist or the Mogor's Champion. Seems pretty easy as a pick for a Shaman. Also the Tusker Totemic, very good card. You get the extra minion when you spawn him. Otherwise you're looking at a Tournament Attendee or a Captured Jormonger. The Captured Jormonger is actually really strong in Arena right now, but I think we're still going to go with the Totemic just for that early game kind of start. I think again we got to go with the Raider. These cards are the cards that are just too good right now. The Sorcerer is not really a Shaman card. The drawing two cards is cool, but it's not really going to help us in our end game. I think at this point we still want to focus on our early game a little bit. The Clockwork Gnome's not really going to do much of an impact, with Mad Bomber can turn games by himself alone. Volcanic Drake is iffy at best sometimes. Tough choice, and they're all threes. We don't have any dragons. It's way too early in the match to really count for that. Tinkertown's probably going to be the easier one to trigger the bonus effect with having a mech, and the Dragonhawk Rider can actually go crazy with a Shaman if you end up getting Flame Tongue Totem or Rockbiter, but I think we go Tinkertown. We are either looking at our early game for a Worgen Infiltrator, can be a really good drop turn 1 for taking out that 2-drop, Frost Shock, which we're going to completely ignore, or Unbound Elemental, which is okay, but then you're kind of relying on getting those Overload cards, which we have none yet. I think let's go with this. Even later in the game, Worgen Infiltrator is not that bad because of the stealth, because he can't immediately be killed with something like a hero power. Micro Machines are cool because they can go completely crazy, but again, the Tusker Totemic is just too good right now. This pick makes me a Salty Dog, but we either have the Goldshire Footman, complete garbage, Salty Dog, which just gets taken out way too easily, or Ancestral Knowledge, which kind of makes me wish we took that Unbound Elemental. We'll take it. Another kind of iffy pick. Oasis Snapjaw can normally trade pretty well with low drops. The Silverback Patriarch is probably not the best card to pick. And Reincarnate can be fun, but I don't see any use for it in our current draft. So Silencing a Demon, very rarely useful, but again it has its points. I think the Valiant is good, even as a just plain 5-drop. Having a 3/6, not the best of stats, but he's pretty hardy, so he's not just going to die. And the Watchman is not really something I'm even considering at this point. This is a good setup. The Krakens are very strong right now. 4 damage on the board immediately, like it's a big version of Fire Elemental. Spellbreaker though, like I think Silence can be a huge impact, and I always like to take one in every draft, so maybe it's good just to take it now and get it out of the way. And then again, the Blackwing Technician, we don't have any dragons, so it's kind of a non-issue. So I think I'm going to take my Silence. Right now I don't have a lot of high cards, so I'm going for maybe more of a early game, kind of mid-game deck at this moment. I have another choice for a Silence though, so kind of iffy on my side. I think right here I'm going to take the removal and go with Rockbiter. Manatide is actually going to be pretty nifty if I can get it going. Again, in Arena I always like to have one form of card draw. I have Ancestral Knowledge, which some people would consider card draw, but again, like it basically replaces itself unless you draw one card. So it's good, but it's not really card draw. Ancient Mage, I don't really have any spells to pair with it yet. And Imp Master is crazy good if I get Bloodlust, but I haven't even gotten there yet, so I'm leaning towards the Totem just because, again, 2 Totemics, 2 Valiants, like, why not just go with the Totem deck? Like, it looks like it wants me to have it. I got removal right there, pretty premium removal for the Shaman. The boar, not really even a consideration. The bluegill warrior, used to not like him at all. I feel like lately he's kind of earned a little spot in my heart, but I think we're just going to go with the lightning bolt. I think it's a good card. Fire Elemental is going to be a pretty instant pick for me. The Spiteful Smith is actually not bad if you can get a weapon going. The Frost Elemental is decent as far as just having the freeze effect. But again, like just these two cards paired against each other, like a 6-5 versus a 5-5 is a no-brainer. And the 3 damage can straight up kill a minion for 3 damage. Where freeze, like I might end up freezing a minion that has 3 health. So I might as well lock it in. Kind of a similar pick with having the Frost Elemental again, but I think having the Zap-O-Matic, I still need 2 drops. Like you can see right now, halfway through the draft, I have a Mad Bomber. That is my only 2 drop. I also have the Infiltrator to play on turn 1, but again, like with my curve, Infiltrator turn 1, Mad Bomber turn 2, kill my own Infiltrator, like it's just not a good setup. I need to make sure I'm able to live to these longer turns because my goal right now, control the board early on and then just start dropping things like the Valiants and the Raiders and just hero power the game out. So let's focus early game at this point, I think. I've actually seen the Lance Carrier Zap-O-Matic combo go completely crazy, so I might do something like that. The Explosive Sheep might be the board clear I need to live towards the end of the game, but also Explosive Sheep in a Shaman deck, like you just ruin your own totems and it's not a good idea. Undertaker, I don't think I have a single death rattle yet, so again, kind of leaning towards Lance Carrier, but if I don't have minions on the board, it's definitely a useless card. Let's go with it. Again, the Zap-O-Matic Dream, maybe it'll happen. I still haven't even really been focusing. I had him for mechs. I have the Cogmaster now. I only have the 1 mech at this point, I think, so again, like not really much of a consideration there. I might just go with the River Croc because again, it's a pretty safe bet. I need to fill those 2 slots. Still no dragons. Kind of an iffy card. Heals you a little bit. Not going to do much as far as board impact. And more card draw, which can be cool, but I don't really need it. I almost think I'm going to take the Corruptor, hope that I get like an Azure Drake or something decent, and maybe just pull it off from there. Twilight Drake. I think the fact that we were just saying it, I'm probably going to take it as a rare. Swordsmith is not terrible in a Shaman deck just because of how many totems and minions you'll have on the board, but it's a pretty bad card as is. And the Ancestral Spirit can actually be really good, but I feel like Fire Elemental would be worth bringing back. Valiant, if I have to bring him back, I'm already behind. The Raider, if you bring him back, he's going to start over fresh. So most of my cards aren't really worth an Ancestral Spirit at this point. Another rare slot, so getting decent picks here. Dunamal Shaman is not the best of cards to pick. If they have nothing on the board, he's an easy 10 damage across a turn, which is nice. Secret Keeper is going to be complete garbage for me, though. And Imp Master, I think, is actually where I'm going to go, just because I can kind of pick more where that damage is going, as opposed to the Dunamal Shaman that's a big random chance and an overload on top of that. This is a pretty decent pick for me because, again, I need 2 drops at this point. I do like the Cleric because, again, the Cleric lets you buff someone smaller and then they can kind of take someone out. But I still need those 2 drops. So I think I'm going to focus on one of these. Croc versus Ship's Cannon. Might as well go with the Cannon just in case I end up with a Pirate, because otherwise having a Beast in a Shaman deck, don't think it actually does anything. Power Mace, again, it wants me to live that mech dream, but I have a Whirling Zap-O-Matic, and that is it as far as mechs go. The weapon itself, though, I might just take for the weapon, because again, 3 mana, 3 damage, 2 durability, pretty good weapon overall. Twilight Drake, though, again, if I want to live that dream, I only took the 1. So again, like, do I take the Drake, who's normally a subpar Yeti, just to trigger the Blackwing Corruptor, or do I take a pretty good weapon? So I think I'm going to go pretty good weapon. Mech. We're living the mech dream. Dragon. Living the dragon dream. So all these, they're living the dream here. I think with this one, I really don't like Annoyotron. My wife always pushes it on me. Says, hey, Annoyotron is great. It'll save you. It'll be awesome. Has its uses, but it feels like more of a speed bump in most games to me. I'm leaning towards the Harvest Golem just because, again, I did take the Power Mace. I do have the Technician. So double mech there as opposed to Hungry Dragon. I like Hungry Dragon, bigger than a Yeti, but I feel like giving that card to the opponent can sometimes completely screw you over. So we'll go Harvest Golem, Sticky Minion. There's the pirate if, again, we want to go that route. I really want to take the harvest golem, but again, going with, I like to have card draw, I like to have premium removal, and I like to have silence. So again, hex is premium removal as it gets. If I could take 30 hexes, I would probably take 30 hexes. I know you would never win the game, because what are you going to do? Just keep dropping Flame Tongue Totem, not Flame Tongue Totem, Searing Totem, and have a 1/1 totem win you the game. Most hero powers are going to out-damage, out-heal, outlive that. But again, like 30 hexes, you just hex everything. They can never touch you. They have a board full of 0/1 frogs, and life moves on. Ooh, Crackle, good removal. Lance Carrier, I definitely don't want the second one. Spectral Knight, I think, is what we're going to have to take, because it's decent body, fills out my end game. Crackle is good if I need hard removal, which hard removal right now is actually decent because of all of these Inspire effects that can get out of control. But I think we're going Spectral Knight just for the bigger body. Ogre Brute is typically my choice in a situation like this. The Jouster I don't like at all, just because, again, like, you could end up with a 1/2 minion, which normally just their 2-drop kills it, you get nothing out of it. You could end up with a Zombie Chow turn 1 for free. I'd much rather take the Zombie Chow though, as opposed to taking the gamble. And the Silverhand Regent, it's actually might be what I'm going for. I'm 26 cards in and no Bloodlust, and right now the odds of me getting one aren't really good. They don't always know that though, and again, like an extra 1/1 minion a turn, if I can keep her alive, is pretty big. Iffy cards, iffy cards. Loot Hoarder is one of those cards that I really don't like. He replaces himself in most situations, which people love, but I feel like dies to a mage hero power, druid hero power, dies to the rogue hero power, trades with a paladin hero power. Like, just not really a good card in my opinion. Wind Fury can be a cool finisher that nobody expects, because you drop something like Power Mace on a mech, or you give him Rock Biter, and then you toss Wind Fury on, but just doesn't have much of an impact. Although right now I'm kind of choosing between not the best cards anyways. I think I'm going to go Cogmaster though. I think I've got enough mechs where I can maybe warrant the Cogmaster, get them early on, do something with them, and see what happens. There's another mech if I want to live that dream. Young Priestess is probably one of the better 1-drops, although again, you don't want to fill your deck up with 1-drops. Light's Champion, I'm trying to think if there's really any demon I would want to silence. There are some, but normally I almost think the demons you want to summon are typically your own demons, like when you have the 4/3 Wraithguard or whatever it is that does damage to your hero. So I don't think he's going to be worthwhile. The Demolisher is a kind of a win more card. If you have him, if you're winning, he's great. If you're behind though, not going to do a lot, but he does fit our mech kind of build, so let's just go with it. Final card, Coliseum Manager. Kind of an interesting card. I thought he was a 2-drop, because I feel like this is a little weird for a 3-drop to be 2/5 and keep going back to your hand. I think I'm probably going to pass and go in lieu of the Lava Shock. I don't think I have much. I do have 1 Ancestral Knowledge, 1 Lightning Bolt, so not much to kind of help with the Lava Shock there, or with the Overload there, but still, 2 mana, 2 damage. There could be worse cards. Kind of iffy on the deck, because I like to have a good finisher at the end of the deck. Right now my finisher is going to be the 2 Thunderbluff Valiants and the Raider. So there is a win condition, it's just not really the best win condition. So I think let's give this a roll, we'll see what happens. Let's go through the deck one more time just to see. And let's see how round 1 goes. Oh, we got someone. Ooh, little puppy. Ooh, we're the opponent. Almost had a little puppy. I probably let the little puppy win, though, you know?
You asked for it.
For Doomhammer.
So again, our deck is very, very kind of mid-game oriented. Having stuff like the Manatide Totem I think is nice if I can get it going, but I really want to be able to back it up. With my opening hand, I don't think I could back it up. getting rid of the Snapjaw because I need those lower cards, getting rid of the Manatide because I can't back it up. The Tuskar Totemic, I think he's pretty good to take early on. Again, a 3 mana for a 3/2 is not that strong of a body. Getting the extra random totem is good. Kind of thinking of ditching him though, just because I do have more 2-drops. I need that 2-drop, and what's the best that really happens? I get a Manatide totem, maybe get a card out of him. Like, Flame Tongue totems are cool too. I don't know. We'll keep it. So decent overall. Kind of wish I was going second at this point though, because I don't have a 2-drop right now.
Greetings, friend.
Job's done.
Greet my opponent.
Hello.
I always look for the green at the end of the turn just to make sure you know you're done. Right now he's coining into something, so we'll see what he has. He's got a little bit of a better lead than I do. That Lieutenant's going to get completely out of control, which I don't like. I do have the Zap-O-Matic though, so I think I'm just going to drop it. I hate dropping the Zap-O-Matic into a situation like that, but if you let someone run away with the game this early on, you're just done. At this point, I feel like he either has to trade, or he's got a Frostbolt or Flame Cannon. Arcane Missiles, especially when he has 1 mana left, like, that's probably the stupidest play. And then also going for my face, what if I had removal for him? Like, what would he do in that situation? I think I just dropped the Totemic at this point. See what we get. Maybe we'll get a Flame Tongue, get some extra damage. It's a taunt totem, so I almost want to just go for his face, but obviously then he would just hero power me. So we're going to trade it out, do it like that. Next turn we'll probably drop the Twilight Drake, end up getting a Yeti out. A Yeti versus his Ogre, not too bad of a pick. I do worry about the Totemic dying, but again, you do what you can. Again, the Twilight Drake in Arena typically works out to be a Yeti. The reason he's a bad version of a Yeti is because if he gets silenced, especially with something like Earthshock, he's a huge liability to you. Again, if you hold on to him with lots of cards, obviously he's a little better than a Yeti, but do you really want to hold on to that many cards in Arena? Hey, our friend opened a Deathwing. That's cool. That guy's been busting packs all night. What is he going to do? 4 mana. 4 mana is probably a Yeti. Like, again, I don't want to always assume Yeti. Maybe a 4 health minion, like another kind of Ogre Brutish body. But we'll see. I think we're in a decent spot with our current board. I'll probably look into something like the Imp Master next turn. Maybe the Harvest Golem, depending on his drop. So the Turtle. Interesting choice. I could also do the Harvest Golem and the Cogmaster, but I feel like I'm not fully utilizing my mana. If I get another totem out, I have choices. I could hex something, but I feel like that's kind of a desperate hex this early on. Spell damage totem doesn't help us. Imp Master, what do? I'm going to, if I attack the Ogre Brute, I'm going to die to his hero power. If I drop the Harvest Golem, I don't know. Yeah, we'll save the Harvest Golem for now. I think it's typically always best to trade. The fact that he doesn't have much, though, we're not. We're going to go there. We're going to trade it out this way. Yeah, let's do it that way. His Ogre has a pretty good chance of just hitting something randomly. So again, I think in Arena it's big that you choose where your minions go. You choose where you're doing the damage. Him not having that luxury I think is a good thing for our part. Right now I'm looking at more of a Harvest Golem, Cogmaster totem play. And then hoping that I don't get hit with something like Blizzard. Decent. Again, I could still get the Cogmaster play, which I think is what we're going to want to do. But then, what do we do? Let's do the totem first and just see what happens, you know?
Reporting for duty.
I can fix anything.
So we got a taunt down. The taunt is going to slow down whatever he has. If I end up killing his Drake, or his Zombie Chow, then he would have to ping my Drake, but if he pings my Drake and he misses the totem with his Ogre, he can't get through my taunt totem. But then that's risky, otherwise what he can do is If I trade into his ogre, he can use his zombie chow to kill my totem, and then his spider and a hero power to kill my cogmaster, which I don't like. Also playing into blizzard maybe, but I think we're okay playing in the blizzard. Blizzard, I don't think you can ever count on them having the blizzard. Flame strike, pretty good odds that they might have a flame strike. It's gotten worse with some of the expansions and everything. He's killing my Drake first just because he's worried about the random swing, which random swing happens. Goes for the face, which is literally the best thing I could hope for, because now I'm going to harvest golem him. Ooh, am I going to harvest golem him? I wanted to harvest golem and use the cogmaster to kill that thing. Now I want to do it with the power mace, but then what do I do as far as everything else goes? I might power mace and then just totem and see what happens. I could also actually Thunderbluff Valiant and totem, which is not a bad call. I'm going to do that, I think.
There is a lot at stake.
I'm probably going to get a healing totem, maybe the 1/1, so I might want to try to keep some stuff alive here. So I think, let's play it this way. I might still just keep ignoring the whole...
I'll fix you.
Encouraged.
Should have actually probably traded there, just because, again, I'm playing into Flame Strike. I could have traded my 1/1 and my 2/1 totem into his guy and killed it. Now I just walked into Flame Strike, which sucks. But at the same time, he seems like he doesn't know where he wants to go either. So my Valiant's still alive. I've got a Power Mace. I'm getting another totem. So this is actually pretty solid on our end. A little bit of luck from there. We're doing pretty decent overall. Card advantage wise, he's got more cards, I've got more on the board. So it's easier for him to pick off what I have, but he's looking at 5 cards. It's his turn, so 4 cards to my 2 cards in my hand, 2 cards on the board, and a weapon. So I'm up slightly right now. Very slightly. He's got his own Harvest Golem. I might actually frog it just so I don't have to deal with it, but...
Did you bring some fish?
Maybe I won't. Got a taunt totem. I don't know. Just don't know. Let's see what I get for a totem. Spell damage. Yeah, let's do it.
Elements guide me.
Do I want to do it? I'm looking at 7 damage to his face. I never really like just going for the face. I'd rather kind of wear him out of cards. And I think the fact that he already dropped his Flame Strike, I think we just don't even worry about it. Odds of him Flame Striking aren't good. If he does Flame Strike, I'm pretty screwed at this point because he drops the Flame Strike and then kills the mech as well. There's the Kraken, which that's what we've been saving our Hex for. And we've got the Fire Elemental. So again, what are we looking at damage-wise? 10 damage, so pretty decent. I could just go 10 damage to the face, ignore the frog, and just do damage. I think we're going to do it like this, though. So frog is out of the way, no taunt there. I have enough damage on the board to kill him, even if he hero powers my 2/1 rusted golem. I'm at 11, so we're looking pretty good. If he has a taunt, he stays alive. Not looking like he's got it. Like, I think he's just trying to drop stuff at this point. So I think, sorry bread, this game is over. Could have gone with the whole rhyme of sorry bread, you dead, but I don't know if we need to go that route. And that's GG, my friends. That is round 1 of our road to Shaman victory. Good ending to it, too. 100 gold, no problem.